Thank you so much for joining me today for this chair yoga practice. I am sharing this practice live today on Zoom with a group from Breastfriends. They're located in Tigard, Oregon, and I have linked the website in the description box below if you or anyone else you know could benefit from their support. They're a wonderful group of people, and they're very responsive. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Today we are practicing from a chair, but if you prefer to practice on your mat, on the floor, please go ahead and do that. I'll offer some modifications along the way. But if you don't feel comfortable doing anything that I'm sharing today, please feel free to adjust it or skip it. In all respects, please just keep yourself safe. So today we're going to get started with a little grounding practice. So when people say get grounded, get centered, get present, what they really mean is start to let go of all the thoughts in the thinking mind and come down into your body. So we can literally do that just by focusing on the feeling of our feet resting on the ground. You know, it doesn't matter if you're wearing socks or shoes, in a chair, on the ground, just noticing the parts of your feet that are supported, that are touched. And then just take a nice big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, open up your mouth and let it go with a nice audible sigh. And begin to notice your palms resting on your lap. Noticing where your fingertips are touching your skin, your clothing. And if you feel comfortable and safe to soften the gaze or close your eyes, that can help you to really focus on those touch points. Another touch point you might focus on is where your sit bones are resting on your support. And then maybe as you're able, taking one more of those cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Open up the mouth and let it go. Still feeling your feet on the ground, feeling your palms resting in your lap, your sit bones supporting you. See if you can kind of draw the base of your skull up towards the sky, tucking your chin in just a little bit and elongating your spine, imagining yourself growing just a tiny little bit taller, creating some room along the spine for those discs, creating some space. And then just continuing to breathe in and out. You can take one of those cleansing breaths anytime you feel that your body would benefit from that, or your mind, or your heart. We've been blessed with a couple sunny days here in Oregon. So if you like, you can just rest here, being grounded, being present, being in your body, noticing any thoughts that might pop up, not with any kind of judgment, but just noticing and gently bringing your attention back to your breath, back to your body. Or you might just close your eyes and picture, imagine, visualize the sun up there in that bright blue sky. Maybe there are a few clouds in your imaginary sky. You might imagine the feeling of the warmth on your skin as the sun shines down on your face. beyond your arms, your chest, your legs. Just warming your whole body. You feel that sun to a different extent every day, no matter how cold it is or cloudy it is always there. Sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes we can't feel it. But it is always there, offering us light, offering the plants light, lighting the day. Unconditionally. And not have to earn the light of the sun. It is always there. Just notice what that feels like in your body to acknowledge that unconditional light that the sun shines down. Just taking in that feeling of unconditional giving, unconditional receiving. And just imagine you could shine that same unconditional light down on yourself, into your own heart. And if you like, you might even imagine someone in your life that you know unconditionally loves you. Maybe it's a kid, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a furry family member. You just let yourself feel that unconditional love. As you breathe in, might just soak in that unconditional light and or that unconditional love. And as you breathe out, you might just have a silent intention to yourself that you will cultivate that sense of unconditional self-love. You can learn, your body can feel and receive and give and grow that unconditional love. Maybe bringing one hand and then the other over your heart, seal the deal that today you will come back to this feeling. Whenever you want to judge yourself or judge other people, you will hold this feeling of unconditional light in your heart to come back to practice and to cultivate. And then when you're ready with your next inhale, let's just sweep those arms nice and wide open. And as you exhale, reach your fingertips forward, still keeping that nice tall long spine. Maybe your palms touch, maybe they're parallel. And we'll reach them open as we inhale, just as wide as your shoulders feel good with, maybe even squeezing those shoulder blades towards one another. And then exhale, drawing fingertips. And we'll just continue here, kind of flapping your wings. Maybe they're angel wings, maybe they're butterfly wings, maybe they're just wings. Letting your heart lift and your shoulder blades come towards one another as you inhale and open, maybe even looking up towards the sky. And as you exhale and reach forward, you might begin to bring your chin down towards the base of the throat. Inhale, open up. Exhale, and come inward. And just continuing in your own pace with your breath. You might even incorporate that sense of opening up and receiving and drawing inward for that self-love. If you like, you might begin to move your spine a little bit more. So maybe as you inhale and open up, you could arch your spine, lift your heart a little higher. And as you exhale, you could draw your belly button back towards your spine and open up those shoulder blades. Again, listen to your body and move here as much or as little as it feels good to you. If you're sitting on the floor, you can have your legs crossed or out straight or maybe in butterflies. Just a few more rounds here. And as you practice here, see if you can relax your jaw, soften your brow. Let go of any tension that you notice. Couple more rounds right here. One more round. Inhale and exhale. And then with your next inhale, bring your hands back to rest on your lap. Draw the base of your skull up towards the sky and just come back into your body, feeling your feet on the ground. The breath flowing in and out of your nose. Your sit bones supported. Palms resting. Relaxing your jaw and the skin of your forehead. And then if you're on the chair, we're just gonna scoot forward towards the front edge of the chair. Make sure you're still well supported, but enough so that your legs can come out nice and wide, knees over your ankles, toes pointing outward, heels coming in. If you're on your mat, you could stay seated and just take your feet out wide, or you could come to stand up like this. So be more restorative if you stay on the ground, more of a strength builder if you come to stand. We're just gonna practice here with hands at heart. So let's inhale right here. As we exhale, let's just begin to move the spine with a little twist to the right. Inhale back to center and exhale, little twist to the left. And we'll just continue side to side here. Moving at your own pace, breathing your breath, keeping your hips nice and grounded here. We're just moving through the ribs and the middle of the back. Once more to each side. Now you could continue right here. Or you could bring your hands down to rest on your thighs. Inhale here, and then the next time you twist to the right, you might draw your heart down towards your right knee and dip your left shoulder downward as well. And then inhale back towards the center and exhale, dip the right shoulder towards the left knee. And just moving side to side here. So again, listen to your low back, listen to your hips, move as much as it feels good to you. Let's go one more time to each side. And then the next time to the left is the last time there. This time we'll inhale center, and then we're going to take this right forearm down to rest on the top of the right thigh. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you could just keep your hand up here and turn towards the right thigh. Either way, maybe inhale and reach this left arm up. Now you might look forward You might look up towards your left hand. You might look down towards your right knee. You might find some gentle movement, just moving your head back and forth. Just listen to your body, give yourself what you need. And then if you've got this left arm lifted, you might inhale once more, reach it up high, and exhale to sweep that left arm down towards your right toes. Back down through center and then back up towards the sky again, making circles here in this left shoulder. And you might watch your left hand as it moves, getting a little movement in the neck. And you can keep these circles pretty subtle or make them really large, just listening to your body. And the next time that left arm reaches up, we'll reverse those circles. You can kind of press your forearm to that inner right thigh for a little leverage here. And then the next time you sweep that left arm up, go ahead and let the momentum lift you back up to a nice tall spine. And then once we're here, we're just gonna roll those shoulders up and down and back. And the next time you roll them down and back, let them anchor here. Let your heart be lifted and your collarbones nice and wide. Inhale right here, and then either hand to your left thigh, turning to the left, or bringing that left forearm down to the top of the left thigh. Maybe staying right here. Don't have to go any further. This might feel real nice, just pressing into that right thigh, opening up those hips, opening up that right shoulder, looking down, forward, or up, or maybe inhaling that right arm up to the sky. And again, play around here with where you're turning your head so that you're supporting your neck as much as it needs from you today. And maybe you stay here or you make those circles again. Inhale to reach nice and tall, and then exhale to sweep the right arm down towards the left toes and up and around. Watching that right hand as it rotates. And then the next time the right fingers are up towards the sky, we'll reverse those circles. Let's go once more all the way around. And then the next time that right arm comes up, let that momentum carry you back to that tall spine. We'll heel toe those feet back in line with the hips, or if you're on the ground, they can be pointed straight out in front of you. And then we'll roll those shoulders up and down and back. And then this last time, roll them down and back like you're tucking them down into your back pockets. Shoulders broad, neck gently long, kind of tucking that chin inward just a little bit. And just taking a moment to notice what you feel in your body, to reground yourself, feet, hands, sit bones. Notice your breath. To notice the response of your body to the movement that we've had. So fun. And then with your next inhale, let's sweep those arms out once again and take them as high to the sky as it feels good to you. As you exhale, hinge forward at your hip creases. So we're not rounding the spine this time. We're drawing the heart towards the knees. And you might stay here, inhaling the spine nice and long, keeping that neck long. Exhaling to really settle those sit bones back, press into your heels. Or you might inhale a little more length here and then exhale to rest your hands down to your thighs or your knees. If you're on the floor, maybe your shins or your feet. And just kind of breathing here. Now your hands can be resting, maybe your forearms are resting. We're kind of drawing that heart forward, drawing the sit bones back, tucking the chin to keep the neck nice and long, and just breathing here. In and out of your nose. And as you're here, the belly's a little bit resting on your thighs. So you might really be able to focus on the breath expanding into your hips and into your low back. So just massaging yourself from the inside out using your breath. Couple more breaths right here. And then use your next inhale to walk your hands up your thighs, come back to that nice tall spine. And again, we'll just roll those shoulders up and down and back a few times. And then if you're on the chair, let's extend that right leg out long. Keep the left leg where it is. If you're on the ground, bend the left leg and bring the foot to the inside of the right thigh. You're going to do the same thing here. Let's inhale, reach those arms out and up as much as it serves you. Exhale to hinge forward at the hips, reaching towards those extended right toes. You might point your toes, you might flex your toes, but you might walk your hands down your legs just until you feel a nice stretch in the back of your right leg and maybe in your hips and low back again. Make sure you're not locking this right knee. And again, focus on that breath around the low belly, the low back, elongating the spine, relaxing your jaw and around your eyes. Maybe coming back to that feeling of the sun shining its unconditional light on you, cultivating that unconditional self-love. Maybe feeling the presence of another being in your life that unconditionally loves you. To help your body know what that feels like. One more full breath right here. And then let's inhale to walk the hands back up the thighs. Bring those legs back to parallel once again. Sit up nice and tall. Notice any difference in the two sides of your body, any sense of imbalance. Maybe one leg feels warmer, or cooler, or lighter, or heavier. And then when you're ready, let's do the opposite side. So the left leg is extended, the right knee is bent, maybe out to the side if you're on the ground. We'll inhale to reach up, get long, tuck that chin. Exhale to draw your heart towards your knees. Maybe staying here in extension, building more strength. Maybe letting those hands relax downward to wherever it serves you best. Breathing your breath, being mindful if you're in the chair not to press on this knee, not to lock it. Lengthen, soften, and breathe. One more full breath right here. And then let's inhale right back up to that nice tall spine. Re-parallel your legs. Maybe roll those shoulders a few more times. And just check in with yourself, noticing any places where you still carry tension. Maybe seeing if you can soften those places. And then let's just get a little bit more movement here. So If you are on the ground, I encourage you to come on down to your back. If you're seated in a chair, stay where you're seated in a chair. Once you get to wherever you are going to be, we're just going to draw this right knee towards the heart. So if you're on the ground, maybe you bring your hands around your knee and up towards your right collarbone. If you're in the chair, you could do the same thing, or maybe bring your hands under your right thigh to support you here. Long neck, broad across the collarbones in either respect. And we're just going to rotate that right ankle a few times in one direction. And then the other. Point and flex the toe. If you're on the ground, you might extend that left leg out long or keep it bent. One more full breath here. And continue to move or soften that right ankle. And then as you exhale, just release that right foot down to the ground. And then we'll do the other side. So right foot on the ground, we'll support the back of the thigh or around the front of the shin on that left leg, drawing it up towards the heart just as much as you're able to, as much as it feels good to you. Tucking that chin, lengthening the neck, softening the jaw, moving the breath, and maybe making some circles in one direction and the other. Point and flex, or find stillness for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale to release. We'll walk the feet out just a little bit wider, whether you're on the chair or on the ground, and we're just going to windshield wiper those knees a little bit from side to side. And maybe you might slow that down. And as you take your knees towards the left, you could look towards your right. As you take your knees to the right, look towards the left. And just maybe linking the movement with your breath, inhaling, everything centered, and exhaling as you twist. One more time to each side. And then we'll bring those knees back to center once again. If you're on the ground, draw both knees up towards your heart. If you're on the chair, you might once again walk your hands down your thighs. And this time, maybe just let your belly rest on your thighs and your head be heavy. Maybe your arms can dangle down here, or you can cradle your elbows in your palms. Another option, if you are in the chair or want to stand, is you could come to stand, bring your hands to the seat of your chair, and just walk your feet back just enough so that you can bend your knees and lengthen the spine. So kind of a supported happy puppy pose here, or heart melting pose, Anahata Asana. Wherever you are, soften everywhere you can. Breathe your breath. And maybe come back to that sense of unconditional light, unconditional love. Loving your body as a kind of a history of all of the things that you've done, all of the relationships that you've had, your connections to your family, to the world around you. Just a few more breaths here. And then wherever you are, we'll gently come back out of the posture. Coming back to your tall seat or resting your feet on the ground or sending your legs out long and coming into Shavasana if you're on them. Just taking just 1 minute here to rest, to give yourself permission to rest, to soften, to breathe, to appreciate the light and love that is around you and how you can use that experience to cultivate that same light and love within yourself. Just one more minute. Stillness. Continuing to feel where your body is full. To soften all the muscles of your face and belly. To feel grounded and present. Just a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to start to just move your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. Maybe take a nice big full body stretch. You could do that from your seat or you could come to stand. Oh. And if you're on the floor, you might roll over to a side and press yourself up to a seat. Or come back to your chair if you're standing. Just take a moment here to honor your practice, to honor yourself. And we can do that by inhaling to reach our arms out and up towards the sky, maybe looking up to draw that sunlight and that love down to our hearts with our palms together as we exhale. Tilting your chin down towards your heart and respect and reverence for the light and love that is within each of you. I wish you a beautiful day. Namaste.